The following is a special presentation of ABC Sports.
A year ago in Baltimore, Del Ballard needed only 7 pins on his last shot for victory over Pete Weber. What happened? Watch. Though Del finished 28th here this week, the memory of that shot lingers on as ABC Sports presents live in its 30th anniversary season the Professional Bowlers Tour. Today from Baltimore, it's the Fair Lanes Open. In our first game, defending champion Pete Weber will meet the only player to have reached the telecast twice this year, Dave Ferraro. That winner will face Curtis Odom of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Next up will be Dave D'Entremont of Parma, Ohio. Then our tournament leader, who has 43 ABC-sanctioned 300 games, Bob Learn. That's our outstanding field of finalists for this afternoon's Professional Bowlers Tour telecast. The professional bowlers have returned to Baltimore, Maryland for the $150,000 Fair Lanes Open. You know, this is the hometown of Babe Ruth, and with spring training starting today, we thought we'd bring you inside the newest of arenas. It's the new home of the Baltimore Orioles. It's called Oriole Park at Camden Yards because this entire area was owned by the B&O Railroad, Camden Yards. And as we pan off in this direction, in short center field, Babe Ruth's dad had his saloon there. It's not there anymore. I'm here. I'm Chris Schenkel. 48,000 fans will have a wonderful view of Major League Baseball in this great facility, which is a blend of the old and new. But you can rest assured every modern technology will be used to make it the finest anywhere in this country. For instance, 400 seats for handicapped baseball fans. That in itself is something to pinpoint. We could go on, but we don't have time because we must go to Fair Lanes at Woodlawn. Let's go there, and here's Nelson Burton Jr. Well,
thank you, Chris Schenkel. Oriole Park, one of the nicest ballparks, new Major League ballparks in the country today. And we're back in the Baltimore, Washington area for the 23rd year for the Fair Lanes Classic. We had 5 300 games this week, and the lanes look like they're in excellent shape for today's championship round. Now, last year, the man of my left threw the infamous Ballard ball to lose the title to Pete Weber. And Del, there's been some good things and some bad things have happened to you since then. What are the good sides?
The good sides is I think that after losing the title, I got a lot of publicity, and the crowd really got behind me, and that really motivated me to win 4 titles last year.
All right, well, it came back to haunt you a little bit this year. You came down to where you had a chance to make the top 24. What happened?
I threw another gutter ball and missed the finals by 3 pins.
All right, well, at least you get a good check here in Baltimore every year. Now let's look at how the players are playing the championship pair. There's more oil this week than any week we've had so far the year. The oil is down 45 feet with a little heavy concentration in the center of the lane. Now the back 15 feet are very dry, but there's a little pull area for the players. 5 right-handers in the championship round. The big hook ball players are starting the ball around the center, out between the first and second arrows into the 1-3 pocket. Curtis Odom is playing a little bit more of a line shot over the second arrow into the 1-3 Chris. A lot of money at stake and good scores.
That's right. We have a total of $150,000, and 31 will go to the victor. 16 runner-up, $9,000, $7,000, and $6,000. And 2 veterans, 2 great champions, head-to-head here in our first match in yellow. Dave Ferraro, back-to-back appearances on our telecast, and one of the 3 Triple Crown winners. There he is, only 29 years old, a colorful, the man that can concentrate and with that high backswing, Pete Weber. Okay, trying to defend his title that he won, as Bo and Del told you a year ago, after that error made by our scorekeeper, Del Ballard. We pick the good ones, don't we? Tough break for the 6-time champion from Kingston, New York, Dave Ferraro.
Ferraro with an ideal 5-step delivery. He has a couple of things that happen in this approach that are very important. Number one, he's in perfect position right here. You see the perpendicular movement of his arm. Then he locks his leg at the foul line, and Ferraro, being 5 feet 7 inches tall, would not get away with that if he didn't have the good loft.
All right, so Dave who finished 5th last week in the True Value at Landmark Lanes in Peoria, has an open frame. The 1990 Firestone Tournament of Champions winner. He won that as the top seed. He's 4th seeded today, Bo.
Ferraro has a normal position on the lane. He's right about the center. He's going to slide around the middle. He's going to be between the first and second arrows. Check this line. His ball will be out in this area. Not much hook.
Not to be. 10-pin on the left lane.
This championship pair, we set up the oil pattern, but there's a little bit different characteristics with these lanes compared to what we saw Del Ballard bowl on last year. Last year, they were synthetic lanes. These are wood lanes. The left lane hooks a little bit more.
It's a game where sometimes it helps to use body language, body moves. The 11-pin lead by Pete Weber, whose dad, Dick Weber, will be honored at the 3rd Salute to Champions in St. Louis tomorrow night, benefiting the National Bowling Hall of Fame and Museum. His dad won 31 titles with shots like that.
See the style, the unique style of Pete Weber. 5-step delivery. He gets that ball to the top of the swing. Now look at how his wrist is cocked. His arm is in line with his right foot, and then as he pushes off with that right pivot step, drives down into a perfect finish, and he's off to a perfect start. 2 strikes in a row. Solid 10. Weber's got everything to gain and nothing to lose. Looks like he was dismally out of the top 5 with just 2 games to go last night. And then he bowled a 255 against Ron Palmy in his very final game to sneak into the top 5. So he's got everything to gain.
Here's a young man, 4th professional bowler to pass the $1 million mark in earnings. And as he says, he's just beginning, and Dave Ferraro feels the same. Dave is 32 years old, physically fit. Darn it, a high hit for Dave, who today is just having all kinds of problems.
Well, David has to be a little bit frustrated in the last couple of years. He's won the Firestone Tournament of Champions, and as you see his delivery right here, going a little high. After he won the Firestone Tournament of Champions, he went 0 wins and 8 losses in the championship round, and he's a real winner, so he's looking and searching for the answer.
Another open. Dave Ferraro shared earlier the best bowling tip he has ever received.
Well, it's a thing called the dot game, which I use during practice. You line up on every dot on the approach, and you play every arrow on the lane, and this enables you to play every angle, and which is a necessity out here.
And he uses that during practice. Every dot is lined up with one of the pins, the 10, the 6, the 3 in the head pin, the 2, 4, and 7.
So it's another 10-pin on the left thing.
The dots on the approaches and are lined up with the arrows and the pins on the lane. So there they are out there on the lane, 7 feet, lined up with the arrows, down to the pins, Ferraro following it to make the 10.
We're in our very first match at Fair Lanes in Woodlawn, suburb of Baltimore. We'll be back.
Warning, up to half of all engine wear can happen when you start your car. At this critical time, tests prove Quaker State 10W30 protects better than any other leading 10W30 motor oil. In an overwhelming majority of engine tests, Quaker State 10W30 flowed faster to all vital parts. In all size engines tested, Quaker State protected faster, so it protected better. Get the best protection against startup wear. Today's Quaker State, it's one tough motor oil.
Minute, no better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Speed Stick. It's 110% protection against wetness and odor that lasts all day.
No better way to face the day. Find it.
Alka-Seltzer Plus goes to the Arctic Circle, where the toughest colds live.
Alka-Seltzer Plus takes care of the aches, the runny nose. Alka-Seltzer
Plus has done exactly what I've needed it to do. It does the job.
Alka-Seltzer Plus, tough medicine for tough winter colds.
Pete Weber, at whom you're looking using the full approach, leads by 34 pins in his match against Dave Ferraro. Break in the concentration, so he's going to step off, and he's doing the right thing, Bo.
Well, I think it's one of the photographers in the back, Chris. They have some holes cut through his screen, and he was moving, and with his peripheral vision picked it up. Smart move. Now he's ready, resets himself, leads by 34, fourth frame.
He's complaining about his speed.
Yeah, we could hear it all the way up here. He just backed off the speed, that high backswing. He decelerated as he came down. He has the 4.67. He'll just go for the 4.7.
Okay, and he chops the 4 off. Pete Weber, in the shadow of legends of Roth and Anthony, talks about his possible domination in the 90s.
Well, anything's possible. It would be nice to dominate in the 90s, but with the caliber of bowlers coming out today, it's going to be really tough. I'm really going to have to work hard and get a few good breaks to do it.
If anybody can, he can. His act is together, and he's ready. So we have a 3-6.
Chris, he's letting Dave Ferraro off the hook. I've watched the match play many, many times in the top 24, and Ferraro has kind of had Weber's number in the 24-game match play that we have on Thursday night and Friday in the championship round. But right now, Weber's giving Ferraro a chance to get back in the championship match.
Okay, and Pete thought he had chopped another one. It's amazing when concentration is broken, what it can do to you. Even as a commentator, somebody taps me while I'm talking, I lose it. And I understand what you pros go through.
That's for sure.
4-pin.
One thing to critique Dave Ferraro, and I've watched him very closely in the tournaments he's bowled this year, is he has a little more speed. He's a little more aggressive during the regular tournament. Here you see him a little bit softer, ball drifting just a pinch high, leaving the 4-pin. An extra half a mile of speed or an extra 3 or 4 inches of loft over the foul line, that ball would have held pocket and struck.
Winner of this first match will meet Winston-Salem's popular professional Curtis Odom. Still trying for that first victory, 7 regional titles, a lot of ability. And then Dave the Intremont, and our tournament leader is a non-winner named Bob Learn Jr. from Erie, Pennsylvania.
Ferraro uses the full grip. He's what we call the fingertip grip, or full grips. Just sticks the fingers into the first knuckle, inserts the thumb. Has a pretty conventional down the line, good wrist action.
Again.
And a little wide on that shot. The second thing to think about here, we set up that these are the farthest the PBA lane maintenance crew has oiled lanes all year long. 45 feet is quite a distance down the lane. And it really kind of favors a guy like Ferraro if he could point the ball up to the pocket. The hook ball bowlers could have some trouble when they can't get the ball to hook back. So let's see if Ferraro can get it going.
Remember, he trails by 21 after 2 open frames, has yet to flush one for a strike. So the 21-pin lead by Pete Weber, who will be shooting in the 6th frame with a spare up. Heels off the approach. Smooth. Oh, that was hanging on Dell's area.
But he was out in the Ballard area, and right now he started that ball right between the first and second arrows, and he went out, as you said, Chris, towards the Ballard board and into the 1-3 pocket. Weber gets a really nice shot here as you see the ball driving all 10 pins out. Weber could extend his lead to 31 with a strike here in the 7th.
And he does it. Look at that concentration. Competitor, none more concentrating. We'll be back.
I'll take the special.
I'll take the special.
I'll take the special.
And you should too. The monthly specials at True Value Hardware stores. Like the Master Electrician rechargeable lantern for just $8.99. It recharges right in the outlet. And in February, it's just $8.99 while supplies last. That's just one of the terrific specials at True Value. The neighborhood hardware stores with national chain store buying power.
I'll take the special.
If you're into looking good, get into Bud Light. The clean, fresh taste won't fill you up, never let you down.
You can taste it, feel it, know you got it right. 'Cause everything else is just a light. Everything else is just a light. Everything else is just a light. Everything else.
Terrible Terry Norris puts his world title on the line against undefeated Carl Daniels. It's the Fruit of the Loom Professional Boxing Series next on ABC Sports.
Norris Daniels, live boxing, Fruit of the Loom, next. Dave Ferraro, who impressively won that 1990 Firestone Tournament of Champions and was 5th last week in Peoria. First back-to-back finalist on our telecast here in 1992, trailing by 31. Spare up. There it is. Finally. Finally, a strike, Nelson, for Dave Ferraro.
Yeah, Chris, and Curtis Odom, obviously the championship pair. There's two great champions out there. You care which one of these guys you bowl?
No, not really, because I know both of them are great champions. Getting by that match would be an accomplishment. And then the next two guys are all strikers. Dave Youngman averaged 250 last night, and Bob Lerner Jr. has the most 300s in the world, so it's going to be tough.
All right, but he'll be ready, Chris. Back to you.
Good loft on the ball, leaving, however, the 2-pin on the left lane. He had that strike up for the first time in this first game in Baltimore, and he wanted to cut that lead to 21 pins. But the game is still on. 31 pins separating the two. All right. Pete Weber is still sponsored by his mother, Juanita. Said the price is right.
There's a man who's averaged more than $4,000 per paycheck for his career on the PBA Tour, can now extend his lead to 41, 8th frame.
Didn't get all of them.
Well, he keeps Ferraro in the match. Right now, Pete Weber going at a 2:03 pace. And a Ferraro possible 193. Kim Weber rooting her husband on. Has a tough match if he gets by Ferraro.
Okay, next Saturday, ABC's Pro Bowlers Tour rolls south for the Florida Open. Last year, the sun was shining on John Mazza, who, after 9 years on the tour, captured his first PBA title. Bowling's brightest stars. That's live next Saturday, ABC Sports.
And I spoke with Mike Ducat, the proprietor there. He says they have pro-ams tomorrow and Tuesday. Now, Weber, 9th frame.
He'd like that. He not only waves to the pins, he has been known to talk to them.
Shot for Weber in the 9th frame.
Only the second strike for Kingston, New York's Dave Ferraro. Dave has the PBA record for the highest losing score on television, 1985 in Austin. He lost to Mark Baker 278 to 279.
Won't be that high this time, but he still has a chance to win this match, but he has to strike on this ball. A potential 193.
Dave's best year was in 1988. 6 telecasts he won twice, both in Ohio, earning $150,395. And there's the glove hand of Pete Weber, fiddling nervously.
Working with his thumb, making sure that all the protection still stays on, and this match is not locked up yet. If Ferraro strikes here, Weber will have to mark. Not to be, as a dejected Ferraro kicks the approach. He'll be 182 with a spare. It looks like it's going to be Weber against Curtis Odom in the second match.
Pete Weber won the 1987 Firestone, first of his 3 Triple Crown wins. And as we mentioned, this man, Dave Ferraro, did it in 1990. That's the one they really like to win, because it was the tournament that gave him credibility way back. Hitting a 9-pin on the right lane as Curtis Odom continues to stay loose. You hear the pin fall from his practice shots off to the right.
Pete Weber with a spare here in the 10th, and a full count strike would be 203. Ferraro's finished with 182.
So Pete Weber has taken one step toward the defense of his championship. We'll have his final score in a little bit. He'll meet Curtis Odom here in Baltimore at Fair Lanes Woodlawn. ABC Sports presentation. The Pro Bowlers Tour will return after this message and a word from our local stations.
Kim Zemeskel's historic performance when ABC's Wide World of Sports returns February 29th.
Your dream is sea breezes off Cape Cod. But it's sweat, not dreams, that's going to get you there. And you need a deodorant you can depend on. Old Spice deodorant actually helps stop odor before it starts by killing odor-causing bacteria on contact. 99%. That's odor prevention you can count on with the clean scent of Old Spice.
Permission to come aboard?
Old Spice deodorant. It does a number on odor-causing bacteria, 99%.
Jim Fox. It's time. Mike Bell.
Isn't it a shame, owners of cars and trucks seeing them quit before their time?
You're out back.
Maybe the owners don't know about AC Delco, a full line of auto parts designed with proper maintenance to help your car or truck last.
Nick Bickner.
What if everybody knew?
Nick. Debbie? Huh?
AC Delco.
Where is everybody?
It's like buying time.
Tonight, the man from Urkel, Jaleel White, stars in his own story of cinematic romance. Roll up! With lots of really cool guest stars. It's the Jaleel White special tonight.
A perfect game starts with the perfect equipment, and Bowler Supply is right up your alley. Personalized fitting and custom drilling to improve your game. Check out the colorful selection of bags, shoes, and apparel. For the pool player, rack them up on a new billiard table. Choose from in-stock tables or have one custom crafted to complement your decor. We stock accessories, too, for all your billiard needs and the largest inventory of bowling supplies in Central PA. Visit Bowler Supply, 401 Carlisle Avenue, New York.
It's official. Cumberland Valley Auto Park is the #1 Subaru dealer in all of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. During 1991, Cumberland Valley Auto Park sold more Subarus than anyone else. Why? Great service, great people, great prices. Celebrate with Cumberland Valley with a great price on a Subaru Legacy L, now just $12,999. Shop the tri-state area's #1 Subaru dealer, Cumberland Valley Auto Park, 6720 Carlisle Pike, Mechanicsburg.
They're undercover cops who are acting like trigger-happy hitmen.
ABC's Professional Bowlers Tour, brought to you by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. And by Quaker State. The Big Q is one tough motor oil.
Now, is that a competitive look? You bet. Pete Weber defeating Dave Ferraro in our first match here in the Fair Lanes Woodlawn Open, 203 to 182 with a total of 6 strikes. And now Pete's opponent will be Curtis Odom, Bo.
Be a good match. Curtis Odom, a tough opponent. And yesterday, Chris, you had a opportunity to go down to see the new Oriole ballpark, which will be open for the upcoming baseball season. And you ran into an old football friend that's involved with the Oriole ballpark.
That's right. I really did. Calvin Hill, while he was a Yale All-American, we did several of his games, and he went on to the Cowboys 12 years in the NFL. And here in Baltimore, he's Vice President of Administration of Personnel of the Orioles. Calvin, it has to be a great thrill for you to come back to your hometown of Baltimore.
Well, I tell you, I feel like the prodigal son. I was born and raised in Baltimore, and before I ever saw a football game, I was a big Oriole fan, and to have an opportunity to come and work for an organization like the Orioles, we're starting out a season in one of the great athletic facilities in the world. It's a dream come true. Kids dream about situations that I'm in.
You know, in that Hill family, there must have been some basketball genes with Grant at Duke.
Well, I keep telling my wife took physics instead of phys ed, so you know, all the basketball must have come from me. But it's been a real thrill for my wife and I to have Grant at Duke, to play for a guy like Mike Krzyzewski. I'm getting a lot of heat, though, from my Yale friends because they're telling me that I'm calling Yale blue Duke blue. But that's how deep it goes when you become a member of the Blue Devils.
Calvin Hill, what a classic guy, a neat friend, and he's waiting for the NFL for an expansion team back in Baltimore since my Hoosier friends in Indy stole their team.
Well, there's some people in St. Louis that have something to say about that also, Chris.
First shot, second game, Pete Weber. All right, he had 6 strikes in his 203 to 182 victory over Ferraro. Now, let's get to know a little bit more about 33-year-old Curtis Odom. His best finish, second in the PBA Showboat, 1989. He's overdue.
And he's got his work cut out for him. He is definitely the underdog in this match with Weber 1 victory under his belt.
Giving a 2, 5, and 8.
Curtis with a very ideal style, 4-step delivery. Not much of a push away, but he sets his arm in perfect position, solid pivot step, low to the line. Was a little over the top of that one, causing the ball to slide by and lead the 2-5-8, a very difficult split to start with. 300 game this week, 2 times.
Our tournament leader, as we pointed out earlier, Bob Learn, has the American Bowling Congress record of sanctioned 300 games, 43. Curtis says he's had 14.
14. See how Curtis Odom plays the championship pair. He's a pretty standard player, so he'll be playing in what do you call a normal position, right about the center of the approach. He has a very nice, solid approach. He'll be playing the ball out between the first and second arrows, medium hook.
Leading the 10 pin. He's 5'9", 163 pounds, played football in high school. He wrestled Bo like you.
Looks like he would be an excellent wrestler. He's a great all-around athlete and one of the most personable players you have out on the tour here. Even after he bowled his 300 games Thursday night in his final game, he stayed around to coach some of the fans afterwards. Very nice gesture.
Attended Livingston College. Last year earned nearly $48,000. 2 fourths and 2 fifths last year in his 4 television appearances. Pete Weber. Powerful, powerful strike. Next on ABC Sports, the Fruit of the Loom Professional Boxing Series concludes with a World Championship fight. That's right, his 6th title defense. WBC Super Welterweight champ Terrible Terry Norris steps between the ropes against undefeated challenger Carl Daniels. So don't forget, it is Norris Daniels, May the following Fruit of the Loom Boxing Series. Hit.
That was a bad shot by Pete Weber. He just pulled it. And this is the toughest split in the sport of bowling. The 4-6-7. I'll say common split. Many people think it's a 7-10, but this one's the toughest. Weber will just go for 2 pins. And the reason that's a little bit easier, 7-10's a little bit easier, Chris, is you can bounce the 10 pin out of the 7, as we've seen Mark Roth and John Mazza do in the championship round before. But the 4, 6, 7, 10 has to be slid across. It's very difficult to knock them all out. Now let's see if Curtis Odom can take advantage of that open of Weber's.
Of course, that shot followed his own open as he is left at 2 and sleeper 8.
Let's reset the championship pair. 15 and 16 here at Fair Lanes, a 48-lane center. And the right-hand lane, lane 16, is much slicker or much tighter than the left-hand lane. Curtis Odom has been light both times on the right-hand lane, a little high on the left-hand lane. He needs to make the adjustment and make a match with Pete Weber.
Okay.
There's a key shot for Curtis coming up the left-hand lane, hooking a little bit more. He left the 10 pin there. Get this lane zeroed in, Curtis, then work on the right-hand lane, and he'll be right in the match.
Pete's last title, his 18th, came last year. The United States Open, his second. He can stay calm and not let his anger get the best of him. He can win 100 tournaments before.
One time, baby, one time. Yeah.
The mic'd Curtis Odom, and that was a big one-time strike for him. 5-pin lead by Curtis Odom, the underdog. We'll be back.
They don't even know my name. They call me the Wanderer. Yeah, the Wanderer. I roam around. Oh, well, it's Flo on my left arm and there's Mary on my right arm. Shine a light on you. Shine a light on me. Your one light shining for everyone to see.
When you're looking good, you want Bud Light. The clean, fresh taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down.
You can't get it, do you feel it? You know you got it right. Everything else is just a light. Keep your one light shining. Everything else is just a light. You got it shine on. Everything else is just a light.
Warning, up to half of all engine wear can happen when you start your car. At this critical time, tests prove Quaker State 10W30 protects better than any other leading 10W30 motor oil. In an overwhelming majority of engine tests, Quaker State 10W30 flowed faster to all vital parts. In all size engines tested, Quaker State protected faster, so it protected better. Get the best protection against startup wear. Today's Quaker State, it's one tough motor oil. It may be spring training for some, but these pros are in full swing. Bowling's best heat up the lanes at the Florida Open next Saturday on ABC's Pro Bowlers Tour.
That's where we'll be next Saturday. We're in a full house here at Fair Lanes Woodlawn for the 23rd Fair Lanes Open that we've been doing in our 31st year of PBA telecasts. And here's Pete Weber. Got a little upset earlier. He doesn't like to trail. He has this shot in the 4th frame after an open on the right lane. So he responded as great champions do after an error, coming back with a beautiful strike. Our 1992 money leaders, last week's winner with $40,000, Bruce Hamilton, Mark McDowell, Harry Sellens, Alan Bishop, and our all-time money winners, you see Pete became the 4th millionaire, Holman, Roth, and Anthony, and Albany being number 5. Take the lead. He now leads by 5 pins here in Baltimore, Bo. Replaying that strike, and it is beautiful. Pete's shots like that are flush. Whew. Now Curtis Odom had that lead, but he can regain it now. He's shooting in the 5th frame, that strike up. He uses about almost a yard less of the approach than Pete. Seesaw battle here in Baltimore, Bo.
Thank you, Chris Schenkel, and it looks like both players are zeroed in, and Dave D'Entremont, you'll be in the semifinal game. What did you think of the championship pair before, in practice?
Well, everybody was hitting pretty frequently in practice, but it looks like it started to move around a little bit out there. And first match was a little lower scoring than I thought it might be, so I'm just going to try and go out, make good shots, be aggressive, and just see what happens.
You think the scores will pick up by your match?
I hope so.
All right, Dave, he's pretty confident. Good luck.
Good hit. Curtis Odom now answering the challenge of Pete Weber. Both professionals with doubles. Now Curtis has 3 in a row. Can Pete match that 15-pin deficit? Or Weber can cut it to 5. He's on the right lane. What a wonderful battle between Odom and Weber, Bo.
Well, Chris, obviously I like the good scoring, but I also like the oil pattern they have on the lanes this week. That longer oil allows the player to have maybe a little pull area, and he has a little more confidence. When you give a top pro bowler the luxury of, say, hey, I can pull it a little bit or turn a little bit too hard, they're going to cut it loose. Now let's see how Weber's playing the lanes. He's standing here. Now he'll drift to the left. He'll start a shot out in here. So Weber goes left, then back right. Right now he could take the lead with one more strike.
So the leads continue to change here in our second match between Curtis Odom of Winston-Salem, Pete Weber of Florissant, Missouri. We'll be back.
It's not easy to pull yourself away, pull yourself away, pull yourself away from the bowl of Kellogg's Raisin Bran.
Flight 421, you're cleared for takeoff. Do you read?
Those 2 scoops of raisins taste so good, you'll find that once you start, you can't leave it behind. It's those 2 scoops that taste too good. Pull yourself away. 2 scoops that taste too good, too good, too good. In Kellogg's Raisin Bran, 2 scoops.
We've added the leading cough suppressant to the proven cold relief of Alka-Seltzer Plus to relieve your cold and cough at the same time. New Alka-Seltzer Plus cold and cough medicine in the purple box. 2 kinds of relief from only 1 medicine.
No better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Speed Stick. It's 110% protection against wetness and odor that lasts all day.
No better way to face the day. Find it.
Terrible Terry Norris puts his world title on the line against undefeated Carl Daniels. It's the Fruit of the Loom Professional Boxing Series next on ABC Sports.
And here's the man who'll be handing out the $31,000 check at the end of our action today. Steve Carley, president of Fair Lanes, and his pretty wife, Lois.
Now the match, Curtis Odom up in the 7th frame, can retake the lead with a 4th consecutive strike.
Only the 2-pin. He was a regional professional in 1988. He earned $26,810. That's really unheard of. But on the regular tour, he cashed in 3 out of 4 events. Thanks to the American Bowling Congress, Curtis Odom's bowling talent stretches beyond the Pro Tour as a performer.
Well, at the American Bowling Congress headquarters, they get so many requests to do state functions such as Hall of Fame inductions and banquets. They decided to get the ambassadors program started. There are 9 professionals, and we go promote bowling for the American Bowling Congress.
Okay. Lots of contributors out here on tour. Trailing by 6, nailing that strike. On the left lane, Curtis Odom of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Writes music lyrics. Hopes to get a few things published. The poet of the Professional Bowlers Tour, Curtis Odom. Triple Crown winner, Pete Weber. What courage he has to hang that ball out there.
Chris, Weber is probably the most confident young player I've ever seen. As you see him up here on the right-hand lane, he's starting the ball out to almost the edge, drives all 10 pins in the pocket, a perfect shot. And right now, he has a 16-pin lead over Curtis Odom, possibly the highest scoring game we've had all year. Weber, if he takes it off the sheet, as they say, with 4 more strikes, would be 262. Odom, a possible 246. The match is still up for grabs, 9th frame.
Running that one out. About 3 pairs of lanes.
The solid 10. If Weber carries this, he can determine his own destiny, but he leaves the solid 10. The best he can shoot is 241 with conversion. Curtis Odom will come up in the 9th and 10th frames with a chance to shut out Weber.
All right. A long, hard look at that 10-pin. Pete Weber won his first match against Dave Ferraro, 203 to 182.
Curtis knows what's at stake. One of the best bowlers, our greatest bowlers to ever bowl on the tour, is his opponent. With 3 strikes, he can shut him out and go on to the semifinal.
Cut it to 5 with the strike. Four pin has been a problem for all of you, hasn't it, over the years?
It has been, Chris, and he was saying to himself, that was a big shot. I wanted it. The match is not over, but that was an important strike right there. He can still bowl 226.
This procedure completed now. Started bowling when he was 13, joining a summer league a little bit later on.
Curtis Odom in a must-strike situation. If he strikes out, he will have 226 and force Weber to get a good count and mark.
A 610 for Curtis Odom.
Now Weber, looking at the scoreboard, once again, the infamous ballot ball, which he was the beneficiary of last year. He's thinking about, should I try one on the outside edge? That's why he's scoring the. That's why he's checking the scoreboard.
That's their shot.
Okay, you heard what he said. Frustrating for him because in 1990 he was 3rd at Wichita, 3rd at the Showboat, 1991 4th in El Paso, 5th in Seattle, 4th in Denver, 5th at the True Value.
Odom with strike will be 214.
Thank you.
That sets up the exact situation that Del Ballard Jr. and Weber had last year. Ballard needed 7 on his final ball to lock up the tournament. Right now, Weber needs 7 on this shot to lock up the match. Let's see if he flirts with the outside edge.
Pete Weber has won his 2nd match. Bo's tip this week includes Larry Lichtenstein, giving us about more effective bowling balls and why. So let's give a look and a listen.
On last week's bowling tip of the week, we discussed the modern bowling ball. We talked about the 3-piece bowling ball and the 2-piece bowling ball and what effect they can have on your game. Now this week, with Player Services Director Larry Lichtenstein, he's going to show us what you can do with the drilling of the bowling ball to make it more effective. Larry?
Nelson, on this first bowling ball, as we can see, the top weight is drilled directly in the center of the grip. This causes this ball to roll fairly straight, will not have a lot of hook at the back end of the lane. However, if we are interested in hooking the ball more, we move to side weight. By adding side weight, we get the ball to go longer and then snap farther at the back end of the lane, causing more hook. If we want the ball to go straighter at the back end of the lane, we go to negative side weight, which would make the ball roll sooner and not snap nearly as hard at the back end of the lane.
All right, Larry, I've got it. You can tailor the position of the top weight in the ball along with your grip to get the desired result and the right amount of hook for your game. Next week, I'll be back with Larry Lichstein to discuss the exotic weights that many of the players use out here on the Professional Bowlers Tour.
U.S. Olympic athletes, all told, they put in millions of training miles. It's the same idea behind our Firestone Firehawk Endurance Championship Series. The Firestone performance tires we've raced have run up more than 1.5 million miles. And everything we learn goes into every Firestone performance tire we make. Is it worth it? We think so.
ABC Sports and Nutmeg Mills have come together to create ABC Sportswear. ABC Sportswear by Nutmeg. Now for the real sports fan, the best is here.
Call now to feel the excitement of the perfect game.
Oh, yeah.
Thrill to the making of a 7-10 split.
Wow, let's replay that, baby.
And enjoy historic footage of bowling's legendary champions. ABC Sports presents an all-new home video, Bowling the Perfect Game. Available only by calling 1-800-4ABC-VCR. Classic moments in bowling history can be yours for the incredible price of $14.98 plus $3 shipping.
Back again at the Fair Lanes Open in the Woodlawn section of Baltimore. Weber winning his first match 203 to 182, and then comes back with a bigger game, total of 8 strikes, in defeating Curtis Odom 231 to 214, earning the right now to meet Dave the Intremont of Parma, Ohio, another non-winner. Big field here, Bo, and we look at the two wives. Well, Sylvia the Intremont on the left looks very confident. Kim Weber's seen her husband win 2 already, Nelson.
You're right, and Weber should be very tough in the semifinals. So here's what the tournament looked like. 160 players this week. Average field 208. 216 to make the top 24. Here's some of the other players. Columbia and Hanley. A new fellow on the tour, McClure. Pete McCordy is having a great winter. Duke and Monicelli. Brian Berg, watch him. Jason Couch, tough young lefty. Brad Snell, Jimmy Johnson, a 300 artist. The former champion here, Wise Man. Kaler, watch that young guy. Lawrence, one of our favorites. Guppy Troop, kind of a cameo appearance for him. Romick, another college player. Gurman, the lefty, powerful guy. Mazzanti, his dad was a 1968 ABC champion. Tony Franklin, 23rd, rounding out the top 24, Roger Bowker.
Okay, here we go now. Next stop, the 29th, $135,000 Florida Open, Winter Haven. That's near Orlando. And then 2 weeks from today, we'll go to Paula Carter's Homestead Classic in Homestead, Florida. That's a new stop for us, Bo.
Spoke with Jimmy Carter. They're ready for us down there, and they're anxious to get a lot of Pro-Am entries, and the Pro Tour is ready to head south, but we still have 2 more games to decide the Fair Lanes champion. Weber with the hot hand semifinal game.
Leaving the 10 pin on the left lane here at Fair Lanes, one of 20 establishments in the Baltimore, Washington area. The firm, all total, have 112 centers in 18 states. Here in Baltimore, where duck pins started, some of the facilities are for that sport.
And speaking of duck pins, Chris, I went to practice at one of the Fair Lanes centers yesterday. They had 8 duck pin lanes, and for people that don't know what that is, it's a regulation lane with a very small pin and a 4-pound bowling ball. Kind of fun. but I think most people prefer the 10s. Now, here's the big guy, D'Entremont.
215 and wait. Well, this is the time when you'd like to punt or lateral a pin or two.
You're right, Chris. A 5-step delivery for D'Entremont. Pretty good position right here. And once again, we heard Curtis Odom saying he was a little bit soft. D'Entremont was a little soft in the shot. Pays the penalty going right through the middle, the big 5. A
lot of power in that man's stroke, isn't there?
Well, we saw Alan Bishop, our Quaker State Open champion, make that particular shot earlier in the year, but right now, D'Entremont has opened the door in the early going for Weber. Let's see how D'Entremont, with that power ball, plays the championship here. Pretty standard power player. I like his form. I like his style. He's going to be right up a little left center. He's going to drift a little to the left. He's going to try to be over the second arrow. If he can keep those lines going, he'll get it in the pocket.
10 pin for Dave, who's in his 5th television appearance. For his opponent, Pete Weber, Pete's in his 60th telecast. As Bob Learn Jr., that's the pinfall of a very powerful shot. He's the tournament leader and will meet the winner of this game for the championship. Though I have great affection for this city because, well, I did a lot of giant colt games and also announced races at Bowie Racetrack early in my career. And I found the people that inhabit this state are so friendly. And the food's not too shabby either.
You got to like those crabs. That's where I'm headed tonight. The weather's good, the crab's good, and the bowling is great. Now here's Weber's second frame.
No, 2 and sleeper 8.
You can hear him say, what an exciting shot. And Weber just kind of tops that ball. If there's one thing that nobody at the professional level can afford to do is go over the top of the ball. Now Weber needs to get the ball in this area, drive the 2 into the 8 to convert the spare. But I say go over the top. That means turn the ball a little too quickly. You don't get the lift or leverage, and the ball will not hook enough to get into the pocket.
Self-grandizement. Don't break that arm, Pete.
Weber had an excellent year in 1991, cashing in every tournament of the year that he participated in except the very last. He was 18 of 19 cashes and 15 of 15 on the winter tour. Not quite off to that good a start this year, but he has himself a chance in this game.
All right. The defending champion, Pete Weber. Now with a spare up, Dave D'Entremont of Parma, Ohio. 7-time regional champion. Like Weber, using more than the approach gives you. All right, beautiful shot. Still a close match.
D'Entremont, Weber, and our tournament leader, all power players. Our first 2 players that were eliminated by Weber, Ferraro and Odum, pretty standard what we call down and in players. But now we're left to complete power, as you saw D'Entremont just split the rack there in the 3rd frame. Using the full grip, finger grippers to get a little more leverage, a glove for more leverage, and a good wrist. That's what puts the power on the ball. Watch this one.
Oh, yes. Putting that pressure on the Triple Crown champion. It is all even now, so don't go away. We'll be back soon.
Jim Fox.
It's time. Mike Bell.
Isn't it a shame, owners of cars and trucks seeing them quit before their time?
You're out back.
Maybe the owners don't know about AC Delco, a full line of auto parts designed with proper maintenance to help your car or truck last.
Nick Bickner.
What if everybody knew?
Nick. Debbie.
Delco.
Where is everybody?
It's like buying time.
That nobody knows. No matter what you do, no matter where you go, you've got to have an ace in the hole.
Bud Light proudly presents George Strait.
The high-flying Seminoles of Florida State take the court to face the Blue Demons from DePaul. It's game 1 of the 7-Up Shootout, Sunday on ABC Sports.
Wonderful scenario for our semifinal game here in the Fair Lanes Open. The match is all even. This man can take a lead. He has a strike up. His opponent, Dave D'Entremont, is on a roll, too. No, it just slid by, washing everything out. 2-8-10. And as we said earlier, sometimes Pete gets down on himself when the shot doesn't give the result he wants, but he'll go for the 2-8. And, nearly. Okay, Bo.
Thank you, Chris Schenkel. Our tournament leader, Bob Warren Jr., Mr. 300, but you've never been a tournament leader and had to bowl one game for the title. What are your thoughts as you get ready to go out?
My thoughts are as always, I just take one shot at a time and hope things work out.
How about when you're bowling for the 300 game? Is that what you do?
Same thing. I just take one shot at a time. As my old coach used to tell me, if you start thinking, he starts thinking.
All right. Good luck. He's going to be very tough, Chris, and Weber is struggling now.
Yes, he is. He had an open frame in the previous, and now he's left 3-6-10. Nearly unbeatable when he doesn't get down on himself. Now D'Entremont comes back onto the scene, and Dave has a double working. He can increase his lead to 22 pins as we reach nearing rather the halfway mark of the semifinal game. So Pete Weber now is down 22 pins. Dave D'Entremont has a chance to win today, but getting to the top 5 was not so easy.
Well, Wednesday morning I started off with a shiny surface ball, which wasn't hooking very much, and I struggled. Wednesday night, the second round, I went to a duller surface ball, which gave me more hook. Allowed me to loosen up my arm swing. I bowled well Wednesday night, Thursday morning, and I knew if I kept my concentration together and executed well, I'd have a chance to bowl today.
He started in 117th, jumped to 61st, 18th. Now he's either first or second if he can beat Weber.
Wow. Turning it on, that's his dad on the left, his father Paul, and his wife Sylvia.
Well, Weber, who has kind of come unglued here with a really bad shot in the second frame, but he got a spare, paid for it in the fourth, errant in the fifth, has got to stay behind that ball and get aggressive.
One board. Back and forth now. One board.
Well, he's lost track of the lanes. He's made an adjustment. And what happened? Even the most experienced player can make an adjustment for a bad shot, and then you really get confused. That's what's happened to Weber. The 310 baby split. He's in trouble. And Chris, normally he throws a hard shot across lane at that 310, and I think that you picked it up. He's down on himself, and he's almost forgotten what gets him there.
Yeah, we've seen so many. He's won 18 at only 29 years of age. He is a Triple Crown winner, but we've seen him lose some when we get upset like most of us do. Most competitors do sometimes. Okay. This is a semi-final game in Baltimore, trailing by 45. Imagine. We'll be back.
No better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Speed Stick. It's 110% protection against wetness and odor that lasts all day. Start the morning with Speed Stick, the wide stick, for powerful 24-hour protection. Speed Stick, 110% protection.
I'll take the special.
I'll take the special.
I'll take the special.
And you should too. The monthly specials at True Value Hardware stores. Like this low-temperature mini glue gun for just $2.99. It operates cooler for safer gluing. And in February, it's just $2.99 while supplies last. That's just one of the terrific specials at True Value. The neighborhood hardware stores with national chain store buying power.
I'll take the special.
It may be spring training for some, but these pros are in full swing. Bowling's best heat up the lanes at the Florida Open next Saturday on ABC's Pro Bowlers Tour.
That's right, the Florida Open next week. Rightfully so, looking at that score sheet, Bode, Dave Ferraro, while we were away, with 4 in a row through the 7th. He made it 5 in a row in the 8th, and now this.
Struggling, Chris, and he actually opens the door a little bit for Weber as he has the 2, 4, 6, 7, and he's going for it. Now, what this sets up for Pete Weber is an outside chance to still win the match. Weber has a potential 2-13 game if he can strike out. He's struggled through the first 6 frames, set up a strike in the 7th, so he can still give D'Entremont a match. D'Entremont going at a 2:10 pace. Weber trailing by 37, but there's still room. Has to strike.
Ooh, 10.
Chris, down on himself, just like you said. I could hear his words up here, kind of sardonically saying, that's what I get for making a good shot. Not a good break, but he's in trouble.
Okay, Pete Weber having his problems. As we'd like to say tomorrow on ABC Sports, we'd like for you to join us. College basketball doubleheader. 7-up shootout live from St. Petersburg, Florida, beginning at 1:30 Eastern, 10:30 Pacific. Game 1 features the Florida State Seminoles taking on the Blue Demons of DePaul. Then Game 2. Pete Weber getting another 10-pin. That Game 2 in our doubleheader tomorrow showcases 5th-ranked Arizona against the Temple Owls. 2-for-1 hoops, as they say at ABC Sports, live. That's tomorrow. This is today. Reality coming back, and 38 pins separating these two professionals. The leader is this man. 6 feet 1 inches tall, 215 pounds. Got a piece of the 10-pin on the right lane.
Has been going to the sideboard, and as it comes across the lane, the vernacular for that on the Pro Bowlers Tour is the bird dog coming across. Doesn't quite do the job, but right now Dave D'Entremont has this match well in hand. And if you look at his track record in the championship round, you could expect this. He has averaged 225 for all his appearances in the championship round. He's going to have a chance to bowl for a title.
And, of course, last week, a first-time winner in Bruce Hamilton. Here's an 18-time champion, Pete Weber.
D'Entremont needs 3 pins on 2 balls. Chris, I'm sending you in, partner. I think you can handle this one.
All right. One of the regional titles that Dave won was in my home area of Fort Wayne. Yeah, I could make 3 with 2 balls, I'll bet. Okay, more than enough. Dave D'Entremont will go against Bob Learn. ABC Sports presentation, the Professional Bowlers Tour, will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
They ate the same lunch, got the same heartburn, but his antacid is very different. His Tums has calcium. Most antacids don't. Regular Rolaids uses an aluminum salt. This uses aluminum and magnesium. So does this. Of all these, only Tums helps wipe out heartburn and gives you calcium you need every day.
Something my body needs anyway. I like that.
Calcium-rich Tums. That's the one you want.
To get rid of her gray, my wife can spend 40 minutes. But I discovered this 5-minute hair coloring.
The revolutionary discovery called Just for Men from the leader in men's hair coloring. Simply apply Just for Men and in 5 minutes shampoo out.
Gray is blended away. The look of my natural color is back in 5 minutes. That was me, and it won't fade or wash out.
My hair takes forever, but you look great in just 5 minutes.
The look of your natural color in just 5 minutes with Just for Men.
Saturday. A traumatized child.
Watched his mother get beaten to death.
We were a very close family.
Saturday. The commish.
You never know what kind of copier dealer you got until you have a problem. But when you call a Minolta dealer...
Hello, Harrisburg Copiers. Bob Loy speaking. May I help you?
You'll always have a dealer who makes service and response a #1 priority. So if you buy a Minolta copier from us, we'll leave no problem unsolved and no question unanswered.
It's official. Cumberland Valley Auto Park is the #1 Subaru dealer in all of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. During 1991, Cumberland Valley Auto Park sold more Subarus than anyone else. Why? Great service, great people, great prices. Celebrate with Cumberland Valley with a great price on a Subaru Legacy L, now just $12,999. Shop the tri-state area's #1 Subaru dealer, Cumberland Valley Auto Park, 6720 Carlisle Pike, Mechanicsburg.
Rob Hanrahan, tonight at 6 and 11, only on 27 News.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to San Diego. We're here today for a WBC Super Welterweight title fight between champion Terry Norris and challenger Carl Daniels. Now, Norris won this title almost 2 years ago down in Tampa with this devastating first-round knockout of John the Beast Mugabe. He has defended it successfully 5 times since, and today, #6. Coming up on the Fruit of the Loom Professional Boxing Series, Norris and Daniels. Back to you, Chris.
3 matches, and Pete Weber won the first over Dave Ferraro in the Fair Lanes Open, 203 to 182. The next match, even better, over Curtis Odom, 231 to 214. Then, non-winner Dave the Entremont from Parma, Ohio, comes in and defeats Weber, 204 to 169. So we go into the championship game, 2 non-winners, head-to-head, Learn and the Entremont. Mayor Kurt Schmoke, we want you to meet him. Let me first say, how's this for credentials? Yale, Oxford, Harvard Law. I love it, Mr. Mayor. We love your town, too.
Well, I'm glad you're here. It's quite an honor to have you here, and I know all these bowlers are going to enjoy not only the bowling today, but hopefully some of our crab cakes while they're here. It's just great.
You've been very keen on education, literacy here. What was it? You wanted to make Baltimore the city that reads.
Yeah, that's right. That's our slogan. People will see it all over the park benches and things of that nature. We have it, the city that reads, only because we recognize that the jobs of today and in the future are going to require a level of literacy a little bit higher than what our parents and grandparents had to achieve. So we're working hard on that, but we mix, you know, the sports with the academics. We think that it's well to have people well-rounded.
Rejuvenation here in the city. Bo appreciates it.
Yeah, with our new stadium coming up, we welcome you back April 6th, opening day.
Well, Mayor, thank you very much. And one quick thing, I'll let you pick a winner in this last match.
Oh, right.
Do you like the Entremont or do you like Bob Horn Jr.?
I'm for good bowling.
All right, that you will have. Thank you.
Spoken like a politician. All right, he was a very fine football quarterback here in high school days when he played with our associate. And what a team they had. Tom Gatewood went to Notre Dame, but the mayor went to Yale.
Neither one of these players has won a championship match. D'Entremont has been there 2 times before. He is 0-2 in title matches. He finished 2nd at the Tums Classic in 1991. In the infamous blackout in Panola Valley in 1989, he was defeated by veteran Ernie Schlegel. no matter what happens, Art Trask is knocked out of the Firestone Tournament of Champions because neither one of these players has ever won before.
Made the error. 3-6-10, chopping the 3-bow.
Well, he started very shaky last match against Pete Weber and recovered with a string of 5 strikes, but one thing that Bob Learn Jr. needed was a little respite right at the start. Let's see how he reacts.
Powerful bowling ball. Short, compact, 5'6", 175 pounds, and he puts it's explosive.
You're right, Chris, and when you're that short, to get the momentum, you need a lot of foot speed. He has that, and he gets tremendous wrist action, and look at how he finishes kind of upright like Dave Ferraro. Now, if you're 5 feet 6 inches tall, you can get away with that, but one key thing is you have to loft the ball over the foul line. Learn has done that very well.
Well, he jumps out to a 22-pin lead. Oh, he's performing like he's been here before as a winner. He has been here before, 4th TV show that he's made. And it's the 5th for Dave D'Entremont, his opponent.
Look at that match play, 289 to 278 last night. Let's see if we can get some of that in the championship match.
Oh, yes. Next on ABC Sports, the Fruit of the Loom Professional Boxing Series. Terrible Terry Norris, the champion, goes against the challenger, Carl Daniels. Norris establishing his reputation in 1991 by forcing both Sugar Ray Leonard and Donald Curry into retirement with stunning victories. Of course, he caught them both at the end of their careers. I don't want to take away from Curry or Sugar Ray Leonard, but Norris is a terrific fighter, and so is Daniels, undefeated.
Boy, a good break by D'Entremont there. The left-hand lane, if you're just tuning in, hooks a little bit more than the right lane. D'Entremont gets a great break, tripping the 4 out. Now he only trails Bob Learn by 12. Learn perfect through 2.
Crossing over. He really reacts at that line. He's got all kinds of moves there at the line, Bo.
You betcha. As he picks up another ball, a very low surface friction ball. Hopefully it'll slide across the center of the lane for more control and knock out the 6-pin.
Okay, Bob Learn Jr., the current ABC, American Bowling Congress, 300-game record holder, shares this secret.
Well, I try not to let it bother me, the pressure. I just try to center on the fact that I want to throw a 300 game and stay in a positive state of mind. And I hope I can apply that if I need to strike out for a title.
Well, he started out right. Now he's back striking, open with a double. Look at him running out. Boy, he is reacting. The tournament leader, leading by 11 pins, will be back.
Warning, up to half of all engine wear can happen when you start your car. At this critical time, tests prove Quaker State 10W30 protects better than any other leading 10W30 motor oil. In an overwhelming majority of engine tests, Quaker State 10W30 flowed faster to all vital parts. In all size engines tested, Quaker State protected faster, so it protected better. Get the best protection against startup wear. Today's Quaker State, it's one tough motor oil.
Call now to feel the excitement of the perfect game.
Oh, yeah.
Thrill to the making of a 7-10 split.
Wow, let's replay that, baby.
And enjoy historic footage of bowling's legendary champions. ABC Sports presents an all-new home video, Bowling the Perfect Game. Available only by calling 1-800-4ABC-VCR. Classic moments in bowling history can be yours for the incredible price of $14.98 plus $3 shipping.
A salute to Chris Schenkel, 50 years in broadcasting. Chris, you must have started becoming a broadcaster when you were in grade school, my friend. That can't be true.
Yeah, I started at 7. But
congratulations, my
friend.
friend.
Thank you. What a journey. It's been great.
D'Entremont trails by 11. He has 2 strikes working, can cut the lead of Bob Learn Jr.'s down to 1 pin, 4th frame.
What a cruel game.
You bet. The 4-10 split. A mistake that we've seen a number of pros make today is get too soft or slow the ball down too much. The ball goes high. He has paid the penalty. The 4-10, get the ball over to the left of the 4-pin, drive it into the 10. It's about a 9-to-1 odd shot for a right-hander because he's going away from the 4-pin.
Not to be. This is a championship game, remember. The most important part is that one of the two will win his first PBA championship. And, of course, we're looking at Sylvia, and she is hoping, and Dave's dad is here.
Well, Dave has the big strike ball. He's been a hot and cold bowler all his life. In the Touring Player Championship, he once had a run of 6 games. He averaged 272. That's at least 9 strikes in a row every game. He needs to do some of that right now.
Now we'll have to try and convert the 3-10.
When a player has not been in the championship round before, he has to learn by his mistakes. Regardless of his outcome in this match, D'Entremont has to look at this tape and realize, as you look how he has to make this, the 3, bounce the ball into the 10, he has to realize that his ball speed is what's let him down so far. See the perspiration starting to flow as the pressure mounts.
Very well done. Speaking of well done, we salute all the people in Windsor, Ontario in the Rose Bowl. As we look at the feet, I'll get to that a little bit later, using the whole approach. There's a new Bob Learn Jr.
Oh, we're going to have a little bit of delay, I thought, Chris. We're not even concentrating on really what's happening out there, just on his own game, as a pin had flown out from back behind the setter on lane 15. A man reached down with an implement to remove it. Bob Learn never even saw it, so he's really focused, Chris.
Is he cranking them? There you see Brandon Learn, his son, and his wife, Stacy.
The new Bob Learn Jr., you and I have both observed him over the years as an unaggressive, kind of assuming young player out here on the tour. But look at that grit, determination on his face, and he's snapping the wrist on every ball here. Opened up a big lead.
See the Arnold Palmer tuck of the trousers?
Woo! He's going to be tucking some money in those trousers in a minute if he keeps going like that.
And Dave, the D'Entremont, who won over Pete Weber, 204 to 169. And the semifinal game just is plagued here.
Plagued by splits. Once again, a 4-10 combination. Hit the ball over in the 4-7 zone, drive it into the 10. Once again, I said this is about a 9-to-1 shot for a right-hander. A left-hander has a little better chance, I'd say 6-to-1, but tough shot for D'Entremont as he's in big trouble.
Okay. Earlier we mentioned Del Ballard as our scorekeeper. He's filling in so ably for Butch Soper, who was hospitalized, is out now recuperating from major surgery. And the folks in Windsor, Ontario tomorrow at the Rose Bowl are going to try and aid the finances of Butch after so much surgery. So we salute them and Matt Fiorito, the Detroit Free Press, for doing it for Butch.
And I might say, Chris, as we watch D'Entremont struggling here in the 7th frame, that many of his fellow professionals out here on the tour have contributed to a fund for Butch Soper, and we wish him our best. Now, for D'Entremont, the situation is simply this. If he spares here and strikes out with 5 consecutive strikes, he would have a 200 game. Learn going at a 229 pace.
Now let's watch the procedures of Bob Learn. Okay, sets himself using more than the full approach. Good concentration. High hit, replaying the shot himself.
Well, he just put too much on it. One of the two toughest common splits, I'd say, that people leave. The 3, 6, 9, 10 over on the right-hand side needs to get the ball over between the 3 and 6, let the ball carry out the 9. The other difficult spare, I'd say, would be over on the left side, the 2, 4, 5, and 8.
Okay. Bob Learn Jr. is 25th last week in Peoria, 15th at the Flagship City Open.
You're right, Chris, and here's how they got there. 18 games of qualifying. Bob Learn kind of took over the lead in the first 8 games of match play. Curtis Odom with a 300 game in both round 4 and 5 ran for a while, but now it was Learn, and he has a commanding lead here in the championship game.
Look at him react. And if he can keep up his fine bowling, his life will change and get that first win, leading now by 55.
It's on the threshold. D'Entremont must strike on every ball.
Well, there's one.
Okay, scoreboard tells the story here. Right now, he has a possible 200 game that would force Bob Learn Jr. to at least show up in the last 2 frames. Boy, has he changed and developed on the tour. He was just a young player out here throwing balls. The big hook ball, didn't have an idea what he wanted to do, and he has really developed as this young man, D'Entremont, has also done.
Two very fine regional players. For instance, Dave with 7 regional titles. This man with 16, including 4 last year. The crowd now really getting with the enthusiastic Bob Learn. Basically smiling. Look at this. This is the emergence, Bo, of a new Bob Learn Jr.
You bet. And Del Ballard says it's over, but there's still potential for Ballard balls, but I don't think Learn will send it that wide. He's a possible 255.
All right, give us the Arnold Palmer trouser hitch. Go ahead. 6-shooter. There it is. Not to be denied today, Bo.
You're right, Chris. And I'll take it. Bob Learn Jr. spent a lot of time on the tour, almost a decade. He has learned, developed, and he's got a little victory lap here for bowling's most prolific 300 bowler. Potential 255 game.
And, of course, the people in Erie, Pennsylvania are dancing with joy. We'll have that final score, but this man has won $31,000 in his first title.
Fresh taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. Bud Light delivers.
No better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Speed Stick. It's 110% protection against wetness and odor that lasts all day. Start the morning with Speed Stick, the wide stick, for powerful 24-hour protection.
No better way to face the day. No better way to face the day.
Speed Stick, 110% protection.
Brought just the essentials, huh? What? I think they'll have shampoo there.
Might not have Head and Shoulders.
We're just going to be gone a week.
Right, a week. Let's say it's the end of the week. We're rested, a little sunburned. Then this stunning brunette sits down beside us. And that's the day your flakes show up.
How do you know when they'll show up?
You never know. You know?
Head & Shoulders, and new Head & Shoulders 2-in-1 with complete conditioners built in.
Okay, here it is, $31,000 for a first-time winner, Bob Learn Jr. In the battle, Dave DeEntremont was 16, Weber 9, Odom 7, Ferraro 6, 253 to 163. Did you know Dad could bowl like that on TV?
No.
This is Brandon, Brittany, Mother Stacy, and here's the Fair Lanes champion.
Thanks, Chris. I'd like to thank, first of all, Steve and everyone here at Fair Lanes for a wonderful week. They really took care of us this week. And I'd like to thank our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for being with me.
Will you do me a favor? Will you give me a six-shooter Arnold Palmer hitch of the trousers? There it is. Steve Carley, president of Fair Lanes. I know you have the spoils of victory.
Thanks, Chris. Bob, we at Fair Lanes couldn't be happier to have you bowl your first championship with us. You had a great week and a great championship game. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We'd like to award the prize championship to you, Fair Lanes, for the $150,000 Fair Lanes Open. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. Stacy, this had to be a thrill.
Oh, this is great. We've been waiting for it for a while, and this is just great.
43 300 games.
Never felt as good as this right here.
That tells the story because he bowled a big 253. Dave DeEntremont 163 on an exciting afternoon. Congratulations again, and thank you, Steve, for the hospitality of Fair Lanes. We'll see you next week in Florida. Till then, for Bo Burton, I'm Chris Schenkel. The executive producer of ABC Sports presentation of the Professional Bowlers Tour is Jack O'Hara. Produced by Carol Letty. Directed by Larry Cam. Technical Director, Michael Carmen. Associate Director, Vince D'Addario. Technical Operations Manager, Les Weiss. Unit Manager, Arthur Bodegian. Assistant to the producer, Ronit Larone.
Next on ABC Sports.